back, and we're back live on the big mountain. Steve, you made my, well, anyway, I can't say what I wanted to say. We just went live. They'd cut us off if I said that. Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the big mountain. Steve did the intro that I've been waiting for like 7 months now. College football is back.
Fall camp started. Let's go.
I love it. And we're back on the big mountain. Yeah. And I want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's joined us so far. Thank you guys for coming on. We're going to get to a special guest first here. You guys probably know him as Immaculate, but we're going to be calling him the Wolf of Governance here on the mountain. So we're going to get to that first. Steve has some early line bets for you here. We've also got some CFP odd bets for you. And at the end of the channel, the end of the show, I'm going to talk about this PAC Bombshell. And I'm just going to let everyone know it's a dud. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to tell everybody what the hell I was talking about.
A bombshell that became a dud.
That's what it was.
And I'm going to slip one more thing in there.
Slip it in.
Something we've never done on the big mountain is I'm going to have a short little book review tonight from for a book that was done by a mountain dweller.
And shout out to our mountain dwellers that saw us at Beer Zombies. Here you go, Steve. Beer Zombies in wherever, Las Vegas.
The sports and entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas.
Only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Beer Zombies. We got to meet everybody. We're going to talk about that later. I'm wearing a shirt thanks to Tommy Gunn. He brought us some UNLV shirts. We drank at Beer Zombies. We'll go through all the cool stuff that we got from Mark at UNLV. We got all kinds of goodies here on the table. But without further ado, Steve, I want to get to Immaculate. We don't want to hold him up because he's got important things to do. Because he's the Wolf of Governance. I'm going to howl and have him join us, Immaculate. Good to have you with us.
Hey, gentlemen, good to be here. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great. Did you ever have somebody howl for you at an entrance?
Not once. That is the first.
Well, that's what we're doing. Oh, Steve's going. And this is early on. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to the real topic here. The governance, and some things came out this week. Let me just throw a couple things out, and then we want you to, to educate everyone here.
I think I just heard Immaculate pop a cold one. I'm pretty sure I did.
I was wondering if you'd hear that.
Woo! Yeah, that makes me want to howl again.
Crack open that Dweller brew. All right, so early in the week, first of all, we had Dan Butterly, a friend of the show. We've had Commissioner Butterly on once before. He is the Big West Commissioner. He does a weekly. It usually comes out, I believe, on Sunday or Monday. I think it's Mondays. But he put out some information basically saying that any sort of committee meetings that were to be had here over the last month have been delayed until governance. Well, then about 2 days later, or a day later, it was Tuesday, Ross Dellinger puts out, and I know this got my attention, it got Immaculate's attention, but he says, quote, quietly last week, the NCAA D1 governance working group unanimously voted to recommend the new governance model to the D1 board of directors. He went on to say some other things there, but man, we got some nuggets, and this is right down the Wolf of Governance's alley. Yeah. So what do you think when you saw some of this news here early in the week, Immaculate?
Well, I thought it was great that you guys caught that first one from Butterly, because that didn't seem to be in the type of a place where most people would catch that. But I did find it to be very important, because kind of what it goes to show here is that there are some people who don't really like this, but it's going to go through anyways.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into some tough conversation, which you probably don't want to go into about how that could even possibly be. But yeah, we're there. And just to top that off, when they decide to pause normal work that would be happening, I think that has to be because they're going to be creating some other new structures at the same time. There's the weighted voting, but they're going to be changing committees to be single sport specific. So I think a lot of what would be happening in these committees, like what he's talking about, it's going to be remixed up into different committees. So if they thought that this wasn't going to pass, I think it would be business as usual. But with them pausing everything, it gives it more credence to that this is going to pass And so different people, different committees, different groups are going to be having some different responsibilities.
Well, and Dellinger said that he kind of had a little bit of a thread, and he says, this new governance model, to your point, streamlines a bureaucratic process, reducing committees and granting A4 leagues a historic level of voting power. So I think, and I know focus on that last part, this historic level of voting power, but there's also a big piece to it, like you just said, regarding the committees, regarding the bureaucracy, regarding the processes that they've been going through that really should benefit most of D1, right? So it's pretty all encompassing here, and I appreciate you bringing that up. And just so everybody knows, August 5th is the vote. Well, not supposedly. I think it is actually going to happen. I mean, everything at this point right now looks like immaculate that we're going to have this vote now next week.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. People may not realize it, but they actually already had weighted voting that was created back in 2014 when the autonomous conferences were first made, but they didn't have enough to control the vote themselves. And that's what's changing here. If they work together, as they're saying, the A4, if they work together, they can pass things on their own. If they don't all work together on something and one kind of goes away from the other three, that's when everyone else can come into play and their votes will start to matter.
Yeah, good point. I found it pretty interesting. He didn't name who this committee was, but he did say, he being Ross, said it was an 18-person committee, and he said at least one of them was an SEC president, one of them was a G6 commissioner, and one of them was an FCS athletic director. So, this committee isn't just A4 members, right? At least from what he gave us a small glimpse of who's involved, it is across everyone. And it was voted by this committee unanimously to send it to the governing board for the vote. So, yeah, I mean, I just have to give you a lot of credit here, Immaculate. You've really been talking about this for a long time. And as we're getting these nuggets, and not just talking about this like that it was coming, but also, and you've said this to us on the channel, that there's a lot of work being done kind of underground, right, behind the scenes. And I'm not trying to make that sound salacious or negative, but hey, they are setting these pins up so that they can hopefully get them knocked down. We've talked about a three-legged stool this year, governance being leg 2, congressional action being leg 3 of what really is needed to get to a new, reality, a new environment. So, Steve, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I've been basically relying on Immaculate to tell me my thoughts on Twitter with this, because I don't follow it as closely, but I do think it's good that you pointed out that distinction. One part of this is the consolidation of power at the top, okay? And that's, love it or hate it, that's what's happening. The other part is the NCAA was a large, bloated, bureaucratic nightmare for many years that created so many rules and rulings and different things that got them in trouble, and made them basically hated by the public, by the students, So I think any kind of, if they, streamlining it, getting rid of some of the bureaucratic bloat of the processes, I think is good. So there can be good and bad. But again, going back to Immaculate, I'm interested. I want to hear more, because we've seen some of the things that he pointed out on X. So I want to hear more from him on just like the significance, some of the tweets by Dellinger, how do we read between the lines? What's the significance moving forward?
Whew, a lot there to reach into. In terms of what it's going to be and why this is happening now, they tried to do this before, but in my opinion, they didn't have enough ammunition to really make it stick. And what makes this stick, this isn't going to make a lot of people happy to hear, but what makes this stick is the threat to leave the NCAA. And before, it seems like that didn't really have enough threat power. They didn't have enough. But with the House settlement situation and everything going on, it would seem like right now they have enough. And so everyone's going to go along with this now. And everyone's feeling the pain too, because, the NCAA was part of that. and they're making their payments from money that would go out in NCAA tournament credits. So everyone's feeling this now and realizing if we had did this in 2014, we might not be here right now. So I just think this is just a matter of catching up with it. There's probably some behind the scenes, as you're alluding to, agreements about what will be done and what won't be. It's probably how they're getting the votes. That's probably multiple shows that you could do to talk about those. We'll never be able to get into all that. But yeah, this thing has been going on, and probably why it was quiet is because it's so important. You don't want it to get messed up. I mean, things go out and get public, and you have media people talking about it. It gets folks riled up. And sometimes if you have a vote lined up, that could change the circumstances. So that's why I think with Dellinger coming out right now, as he has, I do believe they have the votes lined up, and this is a sure thing.
So for the average fan, the average college football fan, the layman who doesn't follow all this stuff, they pay attention when their team goes to camp, and they're more watching the games than following governance. Can you break it down for us in terms of that? For the average fan, what do they need to know? What's going to be different? Or is the average fan even going to care that there's a change in governance? Will this affect them at all? Well, what's the new landscape? What your prediction on what's the new landscape look like, and how does that affect the average college sports fan?
100% everyone should care. They just don't realize why yet, but they will. What this means for whatever their college sport, but we're going to talk college football mostly. What this means for that is this is a blank slate. This is an empty canvas. With this power, the A4, as long as they're aligned, can create whatever they've wanted to create for many years. Whereas before, they'd have to do this stuff outside. CFP is a limited liability company. It's made outside of the NCAA. It operates on top of the bowl system, which operates outside of the NCAA. With this power, they no longer have to do that. You understand? They can. If I've made suggestions of what I think they'll do, but they could even have other newer, brand new, fresh ideas that I wouldn't know about. I'm just repeating the things that they wanted to do well in the past. So, if they want to expand their conference playoffs, well, right now they're limited to 1 week of postseason conference play. They can change that. If they want to have more divisions instead of just 2 in a conference, they can change that. Do they want to have a 13th week of games in the regular season instead of just 12? They can change that. Do they want to have multiple team practices of cooperative practices with 2 teams in a spring game? They can do that. They can do so much more now that the bureaucracy has kind of kept them from doing for, one political reason or another. So yeah, there's a lot, and people could come up with who knows how many other things that they could possibly do.
Well, that was perfect. I might clip what you just said there. Not that it is going to happen, but to Steve's question, why should they care? Well, it could move to some of the things that you just said there, and I think a lot of people would probably agree with some of the things. The vast majority would agree with those, and they can't get them done right now. Maybe they can in the future. And again, that's not the only list or the only items, as you mentioned, but that was a great little piece.
Those are my 4, but by no means is it limited to that.
Love it. I have 2 other things that I want to bring up. We talked, we did a pre-show for those that jumped on. I know we had a few people on. Immaculate was listed in there for a little bit. Pre-show on X, and we had Will, the collegiate athletic advocate, if I'm saying that correctly, another dweller that we got to meet in Las Vegas. But he asked about kind of all this hubbub and smoke, at least from those that are currently in or going to be in the Pac-12, about possibly getting back their A4 status. Are we in an A4 realm? Are we in an A5 realm? I think you had mentioned maybe there was something today that came out from Ross that maybe makes you sway one way or the other. Can you talk about that?
At this time, I'm kind of sitting on the fence, and it's not necessarily a comfortable position. In the past, I was always kind of I didn't want to speak on it because of PAC folks and saying, unfortunately, I didn't think that they were going to get back in. But then we've had a couple of data points come out since they invited Texas State, which could potentially be pointing to suggest that they may have their status back because they beat the grace period. I don't know. I don't have the answers to this, but I do know that Ross Dellinger came out today, with his post, and he referred to the group of 6. So to those folks, I have to say, I don't know, but he's been the guy that they have been using to really come out and bring information to the public. Like, it used to be back in the day, there was a couple guys who were like the supposed media kings of realignment. Well, that's Dellinger now.
Yeah.
So when he uses that term, I tend to think somebody told him that. But in to really kind of take a position, it's, hey, this thing is next week. Let's see what the final result is. If for PAC folks who want to hold on to those other data points that they were put out and said the autonomy 5 and that they're a part of that, I would say just hold on to it and wait till next week, but don't stake everything on that. Be ready for this thing to go either way.
For sure. Let me ask you one other thing. We did want to keep this segment to 30, so appreciate this. And
Sure.
I'm going to switch gears just a little bit because you have been more bullish on potential congressional action than the person sitting to my left. And again, we really don't know. There is some movement, but whether or not it's going to get across the finish line, it remains to be seen. I want to ask you your opinion because you and I have had some communication offline on this or off podcasting on this. I want to know your thoughts of whatever you want to give on the news last week where the President Trump, decided to issue an executive order, for whatever reason he decided to do so. I just your opinion, not so much on the order and what it said, but the timing of it, given where everything's at right now. Do you have an opinion on pros, cons, indifferent on what have occurred there with that?
I personally, for me, the whole congressional action situation is too big to fail, in my opinion. Like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of each side playing their public presentation. And in terms of him, I see it more like what the executive branch does is it executes what the legislative branch passes. I think he went way too soon. I don't know if just to try and help it out or if it's just him trying to get attention or what it is. People can take that in their own way. But that's where I see this coming into play. It's not he's one man making this happen. I think that it's already kind of done, and he's just jumping the gun and getting out orders to all of his all the agencies that are part of the executive branch. Like, this is how we're going to implement this. Because otherwise, beyond that, it doesn't make much sense to me. The timing makes very little sense at all.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. You said it more eloquently than I would have. I think it is more being out in front of it, being first, the attention, Steve mentioned attention. He does kind of enjoy attention. I would say, again, I don't want to get politics, but to each their own. But I'm with you. Like, I looked at it and I'm like, I literally texted, I may have actually group texted you guys, like, why did he do this now? Like, this isn't helping the situation. Like, take politics out of it. That does not, in my opinion, does not help the situation, Steve.
I think the name of the executive order says everything. The name of it is President Trump Saves College Sports. So, I mean, it's just, I just look at it as a politician, like Immaculate said, trying to get ahead of things, put their name on it, put their stamp on it. It's just whether or not that's helpful. And it sounds like Immaculate thinks maybe not. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But, if it's too big to fail, then what does it matter?
Sure.
Well,
and also I would say if it's too big to fail. And Immaculate kind of hit on this, and I kind of thought this too, like it's coming.
Yeah.
Like again, the pins are in a line that eventually, now, was it a little early? Was it, whatever? And everybody can make their own opinion about that. But I think it also certainly leans to the side that, wow, it certainly looks like something could be coming more so than not. Like, I don't think he just would have done that at this point, because he's been talking about it now for a couple. He had Saban in, he went golfing with Joe Schmoes and all these guys, right? And that was a little while ago. The executive orders now, of course, they got to put all that together. So I think it just makes you lean towards, for me, it makes me lean towards more that we're gonna see something happening, but you never know with politics.
Never know.
So, hey, Immaculate, anything you want to end with that we did not talk about, sir?
No, that's pretty much the gist of it for people who this is just kind of landing on their radar right now.
Yeah.
Just for them to understand that this isn't actually new, and it is extremely important. I know if people had to put priorities to what they think is most important going on with the business side, I think they'd probably list CFP as number one.
Yeah.
And then they'd look at, like the portal stuff and things like that. But honestly, all of that doesn't come anywhere close to being on the same level with the governance situation. And I even think that when this passes, it's another green light for Congress. Because if you remember, and I can finish with this, but if you remember, the A4 themselves went to the Senate and had a day on the Hill, as they called it. They did not take the NCAA. To me, that was one of those things that if they don't get this governance, they were making preparations like, okay, what's going to happen if we have to leave the NCAA? So that's probably the best ending, is that talks about leaving were probably pretty serious if this doesn't pass as next week's.
Well, that's a heck of a way to end it.
Yeah.
So, hey, Immaculate, no, I'm going to say it correctly. The wolf of governance here on the big mountain, setting everyone straight. Appreciate your time here this evening.
Appreciate you guys always, and talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you. Oh, Steve.
What happened?
Oh, no, that was awesome.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was an Steve. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a poll.
Okay,
our first poll of the evening. We're going to throw it up there. And it is, will the proposed D1 governance pass next week? Yes or no? It's about as simple as it gets. Mm-hmm. Yes or no, darn it.
I think for those out there that are fans of The Godfather, I think the A4 has made an offer to the rest of Division I sports that they cannot refuse. And they're either it's gonna pass, or they're gonna wake up with a horse's head in their beds. Yeah.
Yikes. You know what's really unfortunate? I've never watched that movie.
Oh my goodness.
I know, kind of the like the horse's head.
Yes.
And the
famous scenes.
The guy that put cotton mouth.
Yeah.
What's his name? Cotton mouth. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to some quick comments here, Steve. The chatter is going off the rails here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great people. Justin, a member. Sergeant Morhew, a member. And I just want to mention membership really quick. Our producer, who does amazing things for us. First of all, he produced our UNLV facility tour.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
He produced our media day summary recap. Fantastic. And he put some new slides together for us, because I think we had a few people last week, maybe a smidgen confused how you become a member. And if you want to, great. And if you don't, that's cool too, because we treat you all the same. But I know Justin is a member, and we've got some others in here as well. I'm going to give a shout out to a new member that joined here earlier this week. We had a few join last week. I saw some people talking about our how, and that's what we do in the Big Mountain. We keep things really fun.
Absolutely. And I want to throw out there, you talked about the membership, and yeah, if people can do it, cool. That supports us doing things like going to Mountain West Media Days this year. Maybe next year or within a couple of years, we'll double dip and do Mountain West and Big Ten Media Days. We'll see. That's basically, you support us doing things like that. But I want to say, I think
Yes.
it's the second level membership, the mountain climbers. Okay.
That's climbers.
That's the climbers. That gets you into our Discord. We've
Yes.
already got a pretty good, healthy chat going on in the
We do.
Discord, and football hasn't even started. I can't wait
Right.
till game days. We even got Jason there. He resisted for so long. JY is in the Discord chatting with his Mountain West family members.
Absolutely.
There. And it's awesome. I want to get as many people in that Discord as possible.
I have to give a massive shout out to one of our longtime Moses is here saying hello, dwellers. Moses became a member last week. Thank you, sir. But that college football guy, Bill.
Yes, Bill.
Massive news coming out of his channel. Hit the 1,000K subscriber mark yesterday. He had a rough beginning to the week with some truck issues. Just not good. I know somebody's asking about the truck issues. Would love to hear if things maybe gotten better. But hey, I'll tell you what, don't get much better than you hit that 1,000K, baby.
Yeah, 1,000K viewers. That's a big number for YouTube content producers. And like I said, I just love his show because it's not like huge production. It's usually Bill sitting in the cab of his truck just talking, but it feels like you're just talking with your buddy about college football. You watch this show, it's awesome. So yeah, I agree. Congratulations to Bill, that college football guy, friend of the show. Did our fantasy draft last year with
That's
us.
right. He's done 2 drafts,
Super League drafts,
and he has an idea for an even bigger draft concept.
Yeah,
that we have to actually get done preseason because there's a keeper element to this draft.
Yes.
So it's a lot of fun. We're all in, but we're running out of time.
Yes, let's move.
No, I meant we're running out of time to do the draft.
Okay.
The Steeple's here for the comedy show. Whatever it takes, man. We're here for entertainment. What else we got?
They can see me. You never know what's in the show. We might be howling. We might be shotgunning beers. Well, who knows?
Okay. The bombshell is to get more clicks. Ha ha ha. No, not really. I told y'all I was going to tell you, and today's the day. If anybody cares, nice shirt, says Tommy Gunn.
Yeah,
it is a nice shirt for multiple reasons. One of them being Tommy Gunn got us this shirt.
Yes.
UNLV. Another awesome shirt. Sergeant knows where it's at. Hope there's plenty of beer for JY. There's never enough beer for me. Am I still, I got a vacation hangover. I've got something.
So Tommy Gunn's asking where my shirt is. Well, unfortunately, Tommy, it's a little small. Okay. Gotta do my football season diet plan to see if I can get into that shirt. We'll see.
Let's see what else we got here real quick. We'll just, because I know we have a big agenda. Let's close the poll. We've got votes on whether or not people think that this D1 governance is going to pass, and we've got a whopping 83% that say yes. I'm not sure how you get 83 and 15. Clearly there's rounding involved here.
Whatever.
But we'll go 85. Let's round it to, let's round it up. 85% say that the D1 governance will pass next week. So Steve, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Sorry, we just don't have enough time to get to everybody. We want to keep moving because we have a lot of stuff we want to get to. Do you want to go over maybe some of the UNLV stuff, or do you want to go over picks next?
Let's go into picks.
Let's do your early picks.
Yes, early picks.
UNLV, and then we'll do CFP odds.
That sounds
How about
great.
that?
I love it.
And then we'll do bombshell.
Yes, and I have a book. And when we go over the UNLV stuff, I'm going to do a quick book review, a book by one of our mountain dwellers who we got to meet in person.
All right. So we are doing early line bets, Steve. I don't have any for the Mountain West. You have, I think, 10 to 12 for the Big Ten.
Yeah, I got 10. Okay.
10? Okay.
I'm just going to go through these. I'm not going to do a real detailed breakdown of the games because we'll do that later.
Right.
These are some early line picks. We like to give these to you every year. Jump on these now if you like them, because I think as we get closer to the season, closer to the game, these lines could change.
Yeah.
So all of mine have something to do with a Big Ten connection here. So I'm going to go right into it. Nebraska at Cincinnati. Nebraska's a 6.5-point favorite. I think this line is going to go up as we go through preseason camp here, fall camp. I think this line is going to move and is going to switch over that big number, which is the touchdown. Okay. So this might be the only time you can grab it under the touchdown mark. So I'm going with Nebraska minus 6.5 here. And I think at some point here, our producer, he's going to throw up the whole entire list for me, but I'm just going to go down through these. Old Dominion. And
our producer crushed it.
Okay, perfect.
He is prepared.
Awesome.
As always.
Appreciate that. So I'm going Nebraska minus 6.5. My next one on the list, Old Dominion at Indiana. Indiana is 23.5 point favorites. And I'm going to go ahead and take Indiana minus 23.5 here. I think it's a great time to grab it. Old Dominion, they're
supposed to be okay this year.
Old Dominion?
Yeah.
They're okay, but their talent level is just not there. I think Vegas is counting on Indiana dropping back a little bit.
Oh.
Honestly, I think Indiana could be just as good on the field as last year.
I agree.
I love, bringing in Mendoza. I think he can add a dynamic part to the offense. I think this line is going to go up as we get closer. So I'm saying grab Indiana minus 23.5 now. My next one, and I apologize, producer, I'm moving fast
You
here.
are zipping through them.
Yeah.
He's good. He's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Like
So,
always.
and you're going to see a continuing theme here. Illinois at Duke. Illinois is 3.5 point favorites. And again, I think as we move through camp, people really look at this. And as we get into the season, I think this line is going to change. And it's not anything against Duke. I just think Illinois is a really, really good team this year. Luke Altmaier coming back again. They're bringing a lot of production, a lot of talent back. The line is 3.5 right now. I really think this could move more to a touchdown favorite, or maybe even over a little bit. Maybe the fact that it's at Duke, maybe it doesn't cross that touchdown line, but I think it'll get close. So I'm taking Illinois minus 3.5 here. Okay, the next game, Michigan at Oklahoma. The line right now is Oklahoma minus 2.5. I think Vegas is going off of Oklahoma had a little bit of a tough season last year. They're bringing in Mateer from was it Washington State from the Cougs?
Yes.
I think he's going to click there real well. And Michigan, I see Michigan struggling this year. That's going to be an ongoing, recurring topic that we'll talk about here. So I'm saying grab Oklahoma minus 2.5 right now. I think this line gets bigger. Definitely it's under that field goal line right now. I think we'll get maybe not to the touchdown mark, but this line will go up to like a 5.5, 6.5 by game time.
So a couple quick things.
Okay.
Number one, DJ says lock the Huskers at 23.5. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you DJ is pretty happy with that.
Lock the Huskers?
That's what he says, the Huskers.
Well, the Huskers.
Or what did I say?
The Huskers are
6.5.
Yeah.
Sorry, my fault.
Absolutely.
Not 23.5.
Yeah.
Don't lock him at
Yeah,
23.5.
no.
Lock the Huskers
At 6.5,
at 6.5. He loves that. And there was one other thing, but I don't know what. Bill says that he will do another truck video update for us.
All right.
And yes, I would love to know, because I felt awful hearing his truck. I would not have probably been nearly as calm as Bill was.
Yeah.
I would have been livid.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Back to your picks.
Yeah. So, okay. So I said, Oklahoma not locking. I'm not doing any locks, but grab that Oklahoma minus 2.5. Moving forward to the next game, Michigan at Nebraska. Again, an ongoing theme here. Right now, Michigan is the favorite by 3.5 points. I think that will totally flip by game time. So lock in, not lock in, but grab an early value pick on Nebraska plus 3.5. I think that might flip over the other end of the zero by the time we get there, or get like really small, down like 1.5, or maybe an even money pick 'em. So right now you can get Nebraska plus 3.5, which is over that field goal mark, which I love it. So I say grab that Nebraska plus 3.5.
What about a flyer on the money line?
Yeah, I didn't
One
want
on a money line channel. But
yeah, no problem with that. I wouldn't be mad at them if they did that.
Okay.
Sprinkled some money line
Yeah.
money on there. Okay. All right, next game, Oregon at Penn State. And this may be one that you have a problem with, but I have full confidence, more than full confidence in. Oregon at Penn State. It's going to be the whiteout. I've said this before, and I'm going to continue saying I think Oregon takes a little bit of a step back this year.
Right.
I think going forward, the talent they're bringing in, they lost their wide receivers. They're bringing in a new quarterback, Dante Moore, who was a little bit of a flop at UCLA. We'll see how he does there. I think they're going to have some growing pains. This game is early in the season. Penn State is a 4.5 point favorite. The whiteout at night. Penn State has just everybody coming back. We've seen, the last few years what they've done in these whiteout games.
Yeah.
They lost to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game last year. Dylan Gabriel was just lights out, hitting his wide receivers over the middle. Well, Dylan Gabriel and those wide receivers are gone. Right now, Penn State's 4.5. I say grab that. I think it's going to move. I think we may get over a touchdown favorite as we get closer. I think Oregon maybe will stumble out of the gates a little bit.
Okay.
And Penn State's going to look pretty strong out of the gate. So I say jump on that Penn State -4.5. I could definitely see this being like at least getting up to a 6.5 line, maybe over the touchdown mark before game time.
Couple quick shout outs. We got Clint Moses here. Good to have you. Says he misses Immaculate back on the Mafia. We've got Davester here. Haven't seen him for a while, so good to have him back on a live show. Davester, Kite Sunday, Brady Moon, two guys I know follow me on X. So I just sprinkle in some things in between your picks.
I love it.
I also want to say Steven Vitt, one of our I say this a lot, but Steven was one of our first dwellers from the very beginning. Go back and look at some of our thumbnails and our shows, and I think, holy crap, we suck.
Yeah, well, we just kept getting better.
We still suck. We just don't suck as bad. But Steven says, the Wolf of Governance is a catchy nickname. That was Steve's idea. I said, we need to come up with a nickname
had it right away
for Immaculate on our channel. And I put up things like the Wizard and lame stuff. And Steve went, the Wolf of Governance. And I'm like, done. We're done.
Oh.
That's why I ask you all the important questions.
I come up with ideas. You and our producer make
it. Okay. Well, he will be the Wolf of Governance as long as he doesn't mind on our channel for forever. All right, keep going.
Okay, before I keep going, I'm going to say you and I were just discussing. We have an idea for a members only. Episode. It's going to be dropping in the month of August.
Yes.
We're going to do like maybe some more salacious takes on this upcoming season.
Things I would never say in public.
In a public forum, but only to our members. So that's going to be we're going to do a video about some just kind of salacious hot takes about this upcoming season, maybe some potential disasters or minefields that could be coming up in the Mountain West and the Big Ten.
Okay.
So look for that for our members. Okay, moving right along. Okay, Indiana at Oregon. So they are traveling to Autzen Stadium. Okay, hard place to play, loud place to play. But going on with that theme, I think Indiana is going to be just as good as last year, maybe even a little better on the field. Oregon, I think, takes a step back. Right now, Oregon is a 14.5 point favorite.
That's a lot of points.
Over 2 touchdowns. There's no way in my mind that line holds up. It's going to go under 2 touchdowns. So I say right now, grab it if you can. Indiana plus 14.5. So you can get them plus more than 2 touchdowns. You're never going to be able to get that again, I think, once the season starts. So that's a great early line value pick. Grab Indiana plus 14.5. Moving right along, this one may surprise you, especially with how high you have Ohio State.
Okay.
I have Ohio State at Illinois. Right now, Ohio State traveling to Illinois is a 13.5 point favorite. So not quite the 14.5, but again, I think Ohio State may have some growing pains this year. They're so talented. They're going to probably make the playoff, but I think they're due for maybe an upset or two. Illinois is following that path that Michigan and Ohio State followed the last couple of years, bringing back just an experienced team, experienced quarterback. I think Illinois has maybe a chance to beat them, at least keep it down into single digits. So I'm grabbing that Illinois plus 13.5. I think we get down into the game. This could be the line could move to like 9.5, 10.5 range, I think.
Okay.
So you can grab an extra 3 or 4 points right now with Illinois.
All right.
And then similar theme, Penn State at Ohio State. Right now, Ohio State's 3.5 point favorites, which I think is fair based on previous years.
Yeah.
And if you're going on previous years, that's fair. To me, I think there is going to be a difference this year. I think Penn State has the talent, has the lineup, has the experience coming back. And I still see Ohio State taking a little bit of a step back, breaking in a new quarterback, 2 new coordinators, new defensive line, offensive line. They do still have talent all over the field. I think this game ends up being closer to a pick 'em, especially after Penn State, I think, really puts a hurting on Oregon early in the season in the whiteout. So right now you can grab Penn State plus 3.5. I don't think you'll be able to get better odds than that.
Okay.
I think it moves down to close to a pick 'em where, Ohio State is maybe like a 0.5 point, 1 point favorite, really close to a pick 'em. So I don't think you'll be able to get Penn State plus any more points than this year.
Okay.
So I'm saying grab that 3.5. You're over the field goal. I think there's some good value there.
Okay.
I'm not predicting the Penn State win right now. I'm just saying I think that's good value.
Okay.
Number 10, my final early line pick, value pick for the Big Ten this year, USC at Oregon. Again, continues the trend of I think Oregon takes a step back this year. And again, it is at Autzen Stadium. I really like USC coming into the season. I think their defense progressed.
Yeah.
Jada Maeva, he got some time last year, and I think he takes that next step. We've seen quarterbacks under Lincoln Riley be able to take that next step. What we haven't seen is a good defense on a Lincoln Riley team.
Yeah.
Last year, they took some steps forward. I think they continue to do that. Right now, Oregon is a 13.5-point favorite. I think that number is crazy. I'm taking USC plus 13.5. I love those points. I think by game time, and this is going to be later on in the season, we're going to get down definitely into single digits. Oregon, I think, will be a single digit favorite, maybe close down to like a touchdown, like a 7.5, 8.5 point favorite. So I love grabbing USC plus 13.5 because I don't think you'll be able to get more points than that is at any point. So that's what I mean by value picks. That's what I got. That's my 10 Big Ten early line value picks.
Well, Steve, I have two things to say about your Big Ten early line value picks. Number one, that's exactly why we started this channel.
Yes.
To pick football games.
Yep.
And here we go, July 30th. We're in football games.
Absolutely.
And you told me earlier, you sent me your list, and I went, whoa, that's a lot. And you're like, I got the itch, baby. I got the itch.
Excited. Let's go.
Let's go. So we're going to be doing picks from now until the start of the season. And of course, all the way through the season. Steve has ideas for bringing picks forward. I will be bringing maybe some early line picks for the Mountain West. I have not gotten through all of my research gathering yet to make early line picks or anything. So I'm not going to do that quite yet. You will probably get some from me here in a little bit. But yeah, that I said there was two things. Basically, that was it. You're making picks and everybody loves it.
I'm making picks. I do have a few CFP odds picks.
Well, before we do that, let's talk about. We're going to do another newbie here.
Yes.
Have a book review.
Let's do it.
So let me give a shout out before we do the book review. Zornell Malone, a new member with the Big Mountain, just became a member yesterday. So shout out to Zornell. And we're going to show you guys. I'll give you a little bit of some goodies that we got here from UNLV, and then we're going to have our first ever book review.
Let's do it.
Because Steve's the man. So you know what's really cool, Steve? We got some hats at UNLV, and I think the coolest hat. I mean, these are just regular. They're cool. Don't get me wrong. Very cool.
Yeah.
But this one's super cool because it's the 50th Battle of the Fremont Cannon.
Yes.
2024.
And of course, let me hold it up.
And of course, everybody I think knows who won that. I'm wearing the shirt.
So what are the two teams that play for that?
That would be Nevada.
Okay.
Or as Nevada likes to call them, UNR. Versus UNLV. Okay. So it's the two Nevada schools. The other really, really cool thing, I thought this was awesome. So they did a coin here, Steve, that went from when they switched from the Sam Boyd State football stadium to Allegiant Stadium. They did a coin for the first game at Allegiant for UNLV.
Yes.
And that first game was supposed to be August 20. I can't read that. August 29th. 2020. And they made these great coins. It's got Sam Boyd on one side, Allegiant on the other side. But you know, everybody knows what happened in 2020, the damn pandemic.
COVID thing happened.
So this game didn't actually happen on that date.
That makes it even more rare.
That makes it even more rare. So shout out to Mark, who gave us this really cool coin, a commemorative coin of a game that was never played.
Yes.
Holy crap, holy. And then
it was played, just not on that date.
Right. That was not the opening date of UNLV playing at Allegiant Stadium. We also got these really cool mini helmets, which that's a really cool thing.
Yes.
Rebels, and it's got good old Hey Reb on the one helmet. And
Hey Reb.
Very, very cool.
Well, there's some appearances by Hey Reb in our video.
That's right. You did. You got a couple little close-ups of them. Yep. All right, Steve. So why don't you give everybody? We met some mountain dwellers at a happy hour.
Yep.
In Las Vegas on Thursday night. I don't know. It doesn't really freaking matter. But we got to see Las Vegas Larry. We got to see Sergeant Morhew. We got to see Tommy Gunn. We got to see Will, collegiate athletic advocate.
Yeah, advocate.
You and me. Am I missing someone?
Did you say Tommy Gunn?
I said Tommy Gunn.
Las Vegas Larry.
Sergeant
Morhew.
I got Sergeant.
Okay.
I think there were 6 of us.
Yes.
I really hope I'm not missing some because that would be super embarrassing. No. But Sergeant Morhew wrote a book and he gave it to us. He signed it for us. You read it.
Yeah. So Fevered Calamity. Okay. The author of the book is R.D. Fluke. He is a mountain dweller here.
There it is.
Fantastic book. It's a collection, kind of those short stories, in the vein of like a World War Z post-apocalyptic, from a dweller who served in the military. I don't want to give too much of his bio, respect his privacy, but served in the military, went and served his country, did that. He knows the terms, the lingo. And you can tell that in the book that it's from someone who has that credibility. A series of short stories. I read about quarters of it on the plane.
You were going for it.
I have like the last maybe 20, 25 pages I need to finish. It's a quick turner, man. It's a quick
get it done.
It's really good, really exciting. Again, if you like post-apocalyptic things, kind of like a World War Z, Walking Dead, has like virus stuff, geopolitical tensions, war, America being invaded, all of that kind of stuff. Really exciting page turner. So I highly recommend it. Fevered Calamity, by R.D. Fluke. He's a mountain dweller. When I finish it, I'm gonna do a review on Amazon.
Sweet.
Yep. So I highly recommend any of our mountain dwellers, if they want to read this, Fevered Calamity. Someone who has the bona fides to write a book like this.
Absolutely.
Been there, done that. And it comes through, and honestly, just exciting. Like you move from one kind of story, moving around the world from one short story to the next that kind of tells the whole picture.
Yeah.
And again, for those who are fans of like a World War Z, you'll love this.
Well, I had to share some goodies that we got, out at our visit. We didn't have this last week because I was in New Jersey. You were at home, but I didn't have all my goodies. So we give a little show and tell here. A couple quick comments, and we'll get to the CFP. Tommy Gunn says, glad that we enjoyed our UNLV facilities, top notch. They were amazing. Very, very, very good facilities there at UNLV. JEH says that, if I don't watch The Godfather this week, then I get the cement shoes.
Oh.
I know what those are, and I definitely don't want them. So I guess I need to, watch the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Okay, I saw that. Just get a couple of these really quick. If there's any questions, we try to keep it real.
That guy forever says Oregon going to go 7-5. We're going to do an over and under prediction. I'm also going to do exact record predictions for every Big Ten team. I don't know if that 7-5 is too far off the mark. We'll see.
So Immaculate says that the Wolf of Governance caught him off guard at first, but it's pretty catchy. He asks if that's a reference to the Wolf of Wall Street. I love the freaking movie, but I think it's kind of a combination of things. Like, first of all, I guess it goes together, but he's the governance guy. And it's just kind of, and he's a wolf.
You got an awesome logo, avatar on Twitter.
It all comes together.
And he's been tracking this thing for a while. He's been sniffing this stuff out.
All right, Steve.
Well, AH says F the Ducks.
I've heard him say that once or twice before. Las Vegas Larry in the house. He's laughing at Reno.
Yeah, UNR.
Hopefully Las Vegas. I did that for you guys. Yes. Las Vegas Larry, Tommy Gunn, Sergeant Morhew. I'm sorry, any Nevada fans. I will apologize because I am a lover of all things Mountain West. But I did intentionally on the video. I said it to you, and I had some people comment to me that they love the fact that I called it UNR, because the trophy's sitting there and the wound was there. And so I just poured the salt into it, right? So Nevada folk, I love you guys. Mountain West is my deal. I just had to do it, especially since we were in Las Vegas and I had just met the night before with a few great Las Vegas people. All right. So JY in Jersey, yes, that could be trouble. Yeah, I was down at the very tip at Cape May, New Jersey. That's where I was, and I'm very angry because one of my favoriteest brews that I'm drinking right now, the Tan Limes, they are out of it
for the season.
This is literally, it's like their summer brew. Well, middle of July or close to end of July, they ran out. How does that happen?
Well, all the Oktoberfests are going to be coming out this.
That's what I said. Literally next week, there's going to be Oktoberfest on the damn shelf. But anyway. All right, Steve, we've got CFP, or you've got CFP odd picks. I want to just real quick say we have a CFP episode coming out tomorrow. Steve gives his 12 schools, bracketed schools. I give my 12 schools. We talk about them. That'll drop tomorrow on our channel. And, it's just, nobody really knows, but, we gave it a shot. We had two schools that we were different on.
Yeah.
out of 12.
Out of 12.
Two-
And we
two
did them
schools
independently and separately.
totally-
So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, you've got some odd picks.
Yeah, let's moving right along. Let's move right along here. And like you said, we started this show to share picks, to make picks and share them with our dwellers. So I have 4 college football playoff odds picks that I like here. And I'm not saying like these are the 4 teams, these are just Big Ten.
Yeah.
I'm not saying these are the 4 teams from the Big Ten that will
Right.
make it. What I'm saying is I like these odds picks. You can grab them early in the season, potentially cash them in early if the team is doing well. They've allowed FanDuel has allowed us to do that before.
Yes.
So I think these are just 4 just good value picks to make the college football playoff out of the Big Ten. One, I've got Illinois at plus 540. Honestly, for me, I would make them like I would handicap this at more like plus 200.
Just to make the CFP?
Make the CFP. Yes, exactly.
Dang.
A lot of value there. I have Illinois. To me, I would handicap it as like a plus 200, plus 250, but Vegas is giving plus 540 right now. And as we go in the season, they start racking up wins. They have a very favorable schedule. Their hardest game is Ohio State, and they're going to host Ohio State.
I'm gonna have to put more money in my FanDuel account.
Yeah, I love them at plus 540. Indiana at plus 590. You know, I think it's going to be borderline where if they make it again this year, we'll see. But I love the value there at plus 590. Even USC, I was a little surprised at this that they actually are kind of lower on the odds than those two.
Yeah.
USC, but I still like the value there. USC plus 470. I think they can take that next step. Again, they have a favorable schedule. We'll see how they do. You know, I think they could do okay in the Big Ten, and they have that game against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They beat Notre Dame and go and only lose 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten. I think they could be really set up nice for a playoff spot. So I like them at plus 470. And my wild card out of the Big Ten this year, Washington plus 920. I think they could slip in and get that last playoff spot out of the Big Ten. I love what they have coming back this year. They overachieved last year under Jed Fish. And I think they can be a little more dynamic this year, score some more points. And so I love them. The value at plus 920 there. So those are my 4 kind of early value picks, college football playoffs coming out of the Big Ten.
I'm not sure I'm there yet with Washington.
Well, plus 920.
It's a nice return.
Yes.
But a 540 there for Illinois and even 590 for Indiana. I'm not sure they can do it again.
Yeah.
But those are good. Now, you know me with USC. I'm not. Do I have to say it?
Right.
I don't trust them.
Yeah, you're not. But you see, you're not going to believe it until you see it. But the problem with betting is if you wait until it already happens, you don't make any money.
Well, that's why I don't make any money.
Right. So with those 4, though, if you bring those back up, if we can go back to those 4.
Yeah.
Let's say you throw $5 on all 4 of those.
Yes.
And 2 of them make it. You're doing pretty nice.
You think you're going to get 2? I think you'll get 1.
No,
I know your picks.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away tomorrow's episode.
What I'm saying is, I think you get at least 1, which would give you your,
Okay.
and you grab a second one. You get lucky, especially you hit on Washington.
true.
That could be a nice pitch.
It's true. You put money on even the same money on all 4 of them.
Yes. Yeah.
1, you basically break even. 2, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Look at you giving out betting advice like you know what you're talking about. No, wait, you do know what you're talking about.
Didn't do too bad the last couple.
You
years.
did pretty damn good the past couple of years. So, all right, let's get to a couple comments. Immaculate says he loves that everyone is overlooking the Hawkeyes. Any comments on them?
Well, him and I discussed this on X. I'm definitely not overlooking the Hawkeyes. Last year I predicted them to go 10-2. They had a couple stumbles along the way. But you look for my season prediction on Iowa this year.
Okay.
Definitely not overlooking them. I don't know if they have that playoff potential, but we'll see.
And Fia, thanks so much. You give us a lot of love here on live shows, on comments, on X. I know Fia is somebody that follows me on X as well. So thanks for all your comments. And Fia says USC is nothing under Lincoln Riley.
Well, I haven't been so far.
Nothing is pretty strong.
Do you see Justin pop up there?
Just Justin, a member of the Big Mountain, just for hell of it. Great content, gentlemen. Well, Justin, we thank you oh so much. Sergeant Moore, you giving out the Mountain West symbols, as members can do.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for being dwellers. And Justin, you're honestly, I think I said it on our Discord. He's one of the reasons we made it to Mountain Days.
On West
Or
Media
Mountain
Days
Days.
and
Media Days.
Yeah, you're getting lower on that beer.
I shortened Mountain West Media Days to Mountain Days.
Yes, exactly.
Which everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get to the end because we're done. The bombshell that everybody has been waiting for.
The bombshell.
You know what's really funny? Here's what I'm gonna do, Steve.
Okay.
I called it a bombshell, and right away people are gonna say that's not a bombshell. Well, it's a bombshell to me.
It would have been a bombshell if it came true.
Right. And never say never. That's what I'm gonna say is never say never. I am not gonna give you a lot of the reasoning behind this. I will tell you the school. I will tell you why I didn't bring it up earlier, but I'm not going to give a lot of the background as to it because I don't want to say too much. So the bombshell 9th member for the PAC was the school that we visited, the school that I'm wearing, UNLV. That was the 9th bombshell member, full member to the PAC that I was referencing, a month ago, month and a half. It's been a little while. But it was UNLV. It was tied to what I was told. It was tied to the mediation that they could get out because we all know they signed the grant of rights. We all know that, where they're at right now with the Mountain West. We all know that, right? Well, we should all. If you're a Mountain West and PAC fan, you should know that. And the reason I didn't say anything was because guess what, Steve?
It was just a rumor.
Because it was tied to the mediation.
Yes.
And I was doing nothing to, go one way or the other with the mediation. Now that the mediation is over, and it's not that and it was a rumor, not that I trusted it or didn't trust it. I will say it was corroborated by multiple sources of mine, which was concerning for me as a Mountain West member or Mountain West fan.
Yeah.
And because it was tied to the mediation, that's why I said nothing. And I didn't think it was my place to do it. I wasn't going to pick sides. I wasn't going to be a part of, dare I say, the media conspiracy, the propaganda. I used the word. But anyway, that's about all I'm going to say other than it was UNLV tied to the mediation, and the reason nothing was said was because of that. And now that the mediation is basically over for now, I think we all can, at least for now, I can say that's probably not going to happen.
I will say during that time, I did see some speculation from various sources that, not really sources, speculation on Twitter, I'll just say that, maybe as part of the mediation, the PAC was looking to get UNLV basically. And so, what we saw, the statements, which you pointed out, we did a video, the statements from the Mountain West and the PAC, I think it was the Mountain West statement said, basically, we went into mediation on this one day and it didn't work out.
Right.
So that might have been a deal breaker. Like that might have been something the PAC was trying to get and it was a deal breaker.
Right.
Who knows? And so one thing I've learned, I've been fortunate enough to have a couple contacts within a Big Ten program. Sometimes when people kind of like leak stuff to you, it's because it's not that it's not true. It's something that could happen or whatever, but there's some strategy behind it. They're intentionally leaking it because they want to get it out there in the public, kind of a float test.
Yes.
A trial balloon, I think is one of the terms for it. So who knows? It could have been definitely part of the mediation, and people were trying to float it, and they wanted JY to put that out there on what we had. I think one athletic director call the premier Mountain West YouTube channel while we were at Mountain West Media Day. So they were trying to get that out there, see what the reaction would be, and it is what it is.
So there it is. I'm probably not going to say anything more about it other than that for people that care and people that hopefully the stable is still on, because I know the stable was very interested in what I was talking about. And again, all I'm going to say is you can believe me, you cannot believe me. I don't really care, but that is 100. And Steve knows because I told him the day, because we had conversation about what should I, what don't I say.
You struggled on how
I struggled on. But that's what it is. I want to just last thing I want to say, because I think Immaculate and Sargent bring up a couple quick, really good points. Immaculate says, watch for announcements from FCS schools after the governance is passed. It's, oh, the stable is still here, and he's laughing. Thank you. He knew it was going to be a comedy show.
Yeah.
So anyway, FCS schools after the governance, 100%. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen after governance.
Yes.
I believe, JY's opinion only, that it's going to open the door for some FCS schools to get invites under kind of a new
tier.
A new threshold, whether it's the $5 million, whether it's the 2-year thing, something's going to change. I believe, and I think it's going to kind of open that door for FCS schools. And yes, Sergeant, I think NDSU, I'm not trying to get their hopes up, but I think they are at the top of the list. If the Mountain West wants to go FCS, I think North Dakota State football only is probably their number one. And we've talked about it. We'd love it.
Right.
We would love for that to happen. So anyway, I just want to shout out there to Immaculate. I appreciate him bringing that up, because that's a great point.
I've seen some speculation that following Immaculate and some other sources on Twitter, that under a new governance model that there would be a third tier created. And if that is the case, I would hope that maybe at that point you hit the reset button.
Right.
You don't put any restrictions. Like, why make people pay money?
Right.
And you create 3 tiers and you let people kind of sort themselves under where they want to be and what level of investment, all those kind of things. So,
yep. Well, hey, thank you all for joining us again. I know we got close to that 100 watching, which is awesome. We had a great conversation there with the Wolf of Governance, because that's what we're calling him here. Steve giving us some picks. We got August 1st coming in 2 days. And man, we have a ton of content ready to go for you guys. We're also still working on multiple interviews. We do have Athletic Director Boggs from GCU lined up to record with us in a week. Hopefully I can get that produced and out Thursday of next week. We'll be talking to the AD of GCU about the transition to the Mountain West, about what their programs look like, athletic programs look like coming into this year. Also want to talk to her about revenue sharing, because they're in a kind of a unique environment without football there. Also working on several other interviews. I've reached out to the American Commissioner, Pernetti. He is interested in joining us. I've reached out to Colorado State's AD, Weber. He is interested in joining us. Of course, sometimes these things take time with their schedules. They're very busy individuals and our schedules, but they're busier than us. And have some other ones planned too. So the interviews are going to keep coming. The picks are just starting. Tons of picks coming. And we thank you guys so much. It's so enjoyable when we have all these commenters in the cellar. With that, hey, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Big Mountain.